Controlling your mind and the ability to do so is the key that will unlock every single thing that you want in your life. And no, I don't mean it in the cheesy sense, not in a motivational sense and all the fluff that people talk about. This isn't some esoteric spiritual thing. This is a technical analysis and explanation on fundamental, simple things that you can start doing every single day to be able to control. Get out of your lower self into your higher self, meaning stop living in a primitive, emotionally based fashion into living in your intellect, in your mind, and your logic and reason. That's what this game is about. We were brought into a world being fed, bred, and trained and built to be emotional creatures. From the media to our family to everything else. The people who effectively can unplug from that can develop, can hone and sharpen their ability to utilize their logic and reason on a day-to-day basis, making decisions, taking actions, and methodically make their way through life, live a better life. And in many cases, that means that you go against the grain knowingly, and that's okay, even if you deal with a tremendous amount of pressure. So let's break this down. What does it mean to control your mind, to be in control of your mind? Well, first and foremost is this. Think of your regular state, meaning like right now, me just sitting here. And ask yourself this. Do you have songs playing through your head and then it's stuck in your head? Can you sit here in silence and you don't feel comfortable because you need music or something or static or something playing in the background? Is your mind constantly wandering, daydreaming, to where you always have to like catch yourself and then come back to the moment to be able to focus? Those are 3 examples of people and individuals that don't have control of their mind. You're floating, right? Meaning your mind is just going everywhere. If you have a song stuck in your head when you don't want it there, it means you do not have the ability to stop that recording in your mind and you've lost control of it. These are symptoms of somebody who does not have that control. How about sitting in silence? Why is it so hard for people to sit in silence? You go in an elevator, it's awkward. You get in a car with people, turn off the radio and just sit in silence and watch how quickly everybody gets super awkward. Why is that? You see, but this is a fundamental symptom of the real problem. That we can't even have basic function as human beings from a mental perspective. So with the introduction of devices and computers and all this other stuff, we've become externally addicted. We can't just sit here and go out and walk in nature without a phone and look at the sun and look at the sky and appreciate the leaves on this palm tree because I'm in Florida, right? I'm staring out right outside the second floor of the home that I'm in, right? I can see the water 2 blocks away. There's a building here, right? And just sit here. I can sit here in awe at these things and be like, wow. Yet the average person that walks by this or drives by it every day, they won't even know. If I said, hey, there's 3 palm trees there, they'd be like, oh, I only thought there was 1. Or somebody like when you go to a new town and you're going down a road, you're like, oh, hey, what's that sign right there? And they're like, oh, I've never even noticed it. Or that thing behind the sign. Oh, I always saw the sign, but I didn't see that thing behind it. And they've been driving down that road for years. We're not even present. Because the first piece is that. In order for you to really control your mind and begin that process, you first need to bring awareness to now. Are you in this moment? Can you watch this video? Have you watched these first 4 minutes? And can you watch through the end of it, however long it is, without looking at another phone or being distracted or, daydreaming, hey, what am I going to eat? Or, oh man, my stomach hurts. Can you focus? This, by the way, is one of the reasons that I keep all of my videos in this format. I don't want to contribute to the 2-second attention spans that people have and having to put 20,000 fucking jump cuts in my videos. Are we that pathetic? But instead of viewing that as, well, it's just the way it is, no, you view it as an issue. Because that's directly tied to your ability to focus. These things, these devices, and these habits that you're engaging in are leading to your deterioration, to the lack of control of your mind, to feeling frantic and out of control everything happens to you and you're a victim of circumstance. See, but I'm bringing it down to technical things so you get it, and it's not just some mumbo jumbo that I'm talking about, like most people on the fucking internet nowadays. How about this little thing, right? This little kinetic art piece that I have here. Could you just stare at that for like a minute and not think about anything else? Could you light a candle? Pretend this is a candle, right? And this is the wick and I light it. Can you stare at that flame like I do as an exercise, which is one that I'll give you later in this video, and just stare at it and not think of anything else and not get distracted for a minute? Most people can't even do that for 10 seconds. They catch themselves daydreaming or starting to drift. And you got to bring it back. But see, that's the first exercise. How do you bring awareness to your everyday life and in your moments? Is that when you start catching yourself slip, you bring it back. And in the beginning, you're going to slip and daydream and float and drift for 30 seconds or a minute before you catch it, or even more. And as you get better at this, you start catching it sooner and sooner and sooner. And before you know it, you start catching it instantly. Then after a while, you stop floating, period, and you're here. Point number 2. This is why a lot of ancient cultures and traditions, especially if you look at like Buddhism and that kind of stuff, and monks, they do a lot of meditation. I know this is big in the Hindu religion and culture and a lot of other places as well. Pretty much every culture on the face of this earth, if you really look at it. But what is meditation? Meditation is the ability for you to sit there, relax, be here, be present, and as all the thought bubbles and all the stuff goes around, instead of grabbing onto it and thinking about it like most people, you let it float by and you're here, you're present. Can you do that? Most people can't. Oh, I'm not interested in that. Exactly. Because you don't know what's on the other side of that. You have no idea what 100% focus and awareness feels like and can do for you. How much calmer that's going to make you. How much of a grasp you're going to have on your mind in your everyday moments and thoughts and ideas. How everything in the world after that starts to slow down and you start seeing through the illusions that are being thrown at you 24/7. And you start connecting more with the real world and people and things and nature instead of all this crap that's on social media and that's digital. You start really seeing life for what it is. You start feeling more of a sense of purpose and connectedness with the world. Because I know many of you watching this video, if you watch this type of stuff and you follow me, I know you feel alone or isolated or nobody understands me and I can't connect with anybody. I don't have a lot of friends. Exactly. You're lacking this piece. Ask yourself how much time you spend listening to podcasts and watching videos every fucking day, whether it's for education or just mindless entertainment. I guarantee you it's way too much. It's hours and hours and hours. When's the last time you pick up a book and read it? That should be a daily thing that you do. Reading and writing, and you actually getting a pen or a pencil and writing, trumps anything you can do digitally. You are connected when you do that, when you read and when you write. You take a thought or idea and you write it on paper, you just created something that's tangible, that's there, that's real. All this stuff digitally can be wiped away. My original YouTube channel, gone. My original Facebook, gone. Wiped off the face of the earth. Old photos, posts, messages, gone forever. What I have in writing is there. And I still have all these notebooks. Why? Because these false idols that everybody worships, these corporations, decided that I'm the enemy and I need to be censored and kicked off all these stupid ass platforms. Over a decade, 11, 12 years of hard work, erased like this. Just because. But anything I've read out of a book, anything I've written on a piece of paper that's in my journals and all these notebooks that I have, oh man, I guard those things like they're worth their weight in gold because they are. And I can reference a journal entry from 2014 and 15 and 16 and see how I've created everything and beyond that I used to put pen to paper. But imagine if I only kept that digitally. Poof, gone. There's something primal about that and there's something unique about that. And we as human beings have become disconnected from the very world that we were born into and live in. That connectedness will lead you to feeling more comfortable, relaxed, in a more calm emotional state, and make it easier for you to really identify and select. Because here's the key: you select what your purpose is and all that. It doesn't dawn on you, it doesn't find you. You select it, you pick what it is. Even if from a young age, like me, I want to be in the NBA, I chose that. It wasn't given to me, even if I was gifted athletically or whatever people want to say. I chose to do that. I chose to then get into sales and real estate and dominate in the field of sales and communication and all this stuff and dedicate myself and work my ass off. I chose that. You see, I chose it. That's how you have control of your mind, by understanding some of these concepts. You see, even a switch in your mind and understanding that your purpose and your why, whatever you want to call it, oh, I got to discover it and it finds me. No. You select it. Just that switch right there can change somebody's life. And you've heard it a million times from people. One quote, one sentence that I read, one thing that I heard changed everything. Exactly. Because it starts clicking and these things start making sense and you have realizations. This is the growth. This is you coming back to you and being in your logic and reason and understanding things and putting more pieces of the puzzle together. That leads to a better life. Because then you look at the world and you see the rat race that everybody's in, and you can do your own thing and not feel like you're missing out and feel that emotional chain that a lot of people have to that old world. You see, a lot of people desire to have what I have: attributes, speaking skills, money, success, brand, whatever. But they don't see the other side of it. I fought against that, what's cool, what's popular, forever. Because on my journey to basketball, do you know how many parties I passed up on? How many opportunities to drink or hook up with 30 chicks and all the other stuff that people were doing most of the time to fulfill my dream? No, you didn't see that. You just saw the reward. Same thing with real estate and all this. How many early nights? How many skipped parties and social events and all that other stuff? And all the cool stuff that you're supposed to do? And going against the grain, even now. Oh, how come you're not married yet? How come you don't have kids? All the shit from society that you're supposed to do. My perspective and philosophies and viewpoints on life. How I look at friendships and relationships and business. Again, goes against what 99% of people say. But, well, see, I got the reward, but that's what came with it. I had to sacrifice all that other stuff. That's the other side of the coin that people don't get. And the cool thing is when you start to understand these things and you have control of your mind, you're not attached to that anymore. It has zero effect on you. Other people's opinions, expectations, social norms, gone. Zero interest in it. Don't care. We'll never care again. The effectiveness that I have when I communicate now with people and the effect that I can create on them, crazy. A simple example is me going door to door with, one of my new students or one of my new agents on my sales team, and seeing how a customer or homeowner reacts to them. And then the moment that I open my mouth and engage them and they turn to me, you see an immediate shift. That's what I'm talking about. Because all of those subconscious cues cannot be faked. And when you finally, this light bulb goes off and you start taking more control of your mind, the world responds accordingly, because now you are an anomaly. The world can't help but respond to you differently. Why? You're presenting something in front of them that they don't come across every single day and every single moment. They have no choice but to respond that way. You see where I'm going with this? But some of these simple things that I told you in the beginning, can you do it? Because that exercise I told you is a fantastic exercise for focus. Take anything. It doesn't even have to be the fire or the end of a candle. I can take the tip of this and just stare at it. And time yourself. The moment you start daydreaming or you start getting distracted or thinking of something else and you grab onto that thought, stop the timer and see how long you can go. And the drill is to eventually get to 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Then you can really and legitimately be in the moment. Well, Bryan, what does it have to do with a lot of the stuff that you talk about, like sales and real estate? Everything. Because that same distraction that you have here is the same distraction you have when you're on the phone, at the door, at an open house, meeting with the customer, selling to somebody. Your mind is drifting. What, you think you're Superman when you sell people, and then all of a sudden when you're not selling, no, you've heard it and you believe it. How you do anything is how you do everything. So that same focus I have here, I'm going to have when I talk to people, which is what makes me lethal when it comes to sales. All these things are interconnected, y'all. And the quicker you start understanding that, all the years of me talking on YouTube will begin to make sense, and which is why I keep introducing different subjects into my channel. Like most recently, I've been talking about men and women in relationships, and those videos are exploding because a lot of that information that I know and understand, I directly apply to the sales world and communication world. It is relevant and connected. If you don't see it yet, that's fine, but I'm onto something. Because part of the reason that I'm where I'm at is because of stuff like that and my understandings of it, and then using that and applying it to the different fields that I work in. And I will continue to talk about that stuff. If you don't like it, too bad. But understand that if you have control of this, oh man. Imagine the last time you got really emotional, upset, sad, super happy, whatever. That took over this, which is why you had issues. Maybe you yelled at somebody, you did something that's out of character, action, right? Maybe you really went off on somebody when you really didn't want to. Maybe you said something super hurtful. That's an example of not having your mind under control, where you let your emotions get the best of you. That should never happen. That should never happen. Because at the end of the day, that's a choice. That means your ability to use your logic or reason is inferior to a certain level of emotion. And that's primed in every individual with the media and all this other stuff. And it's getting even worse with these phones and everything else. Like, I'll ask you this question and you let me know in the comment section, because I know people like this. I'm sure you know people, and sound off in the comment section, or if you disagree. I know people that will believe anything they see out of the phone, even more so. If it's like circulating on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, they'll believe it without verifying more so than real life proof of the opposite. I'll say it again. They'll believe something circulating on social media or their phone or the internet more so and with less or no proof as opposed to what they see and experience in real life. Now tell me, if somebody had control of their mind and they were living in their logic and reason, would they do that? Would that make any sense whatsoever? Hell no. No, it wouldn't. So you really have to ask yourself, how in control are people actually? Because the more you look into this, the more you begin to see the insanity that's out there. And this is why the more I have understandings of that, the more peace and tranquility and happiness and fulfillment I have in my life doing what I want to do, regardless if it's in line with trends or what people are saying. Like, look at right now. Everyone's trying to be a coach and entrepreneur now. It's become trendy. It's kind of sad. That's why I think the last year or so, even I've gotten attacks about being fake and all that sometimes, because I can't be mad at people. Everyone thinks they're a guru now. And I almost get as many messages now of a coach trying to sell me something as I do people actually asking me for help. When back in the day, it wasn't like that. But see, that's a psyop. It's an attack on people right here. You don't need to do anything. You can just do this and that. Oh, okay, yeah, it's easy. I won't have to work. If people use their logic and reason, they would realize, hey, I'm not going to get something for nothing. I'm not going to make 6 figures, 7 figures, scratching my ass and working from home 1 hour a week. It doesn't make any sense logically, but people are falling prey to it. Why? Emotions. Which is why all the salespeople that I teach, I always tell them, use these weapons that I give you honestly and ethically. Do not use it to harm. Because that's what the world and a lot of these predatory marketers are doing to the masses. And it's sad to see. It really is. And if you're watching this and you need help, a lot of the stuff that I do on my coaching and training and sales stuff has to do with this type of thing too. So if this is something that really tickles your fancy, I recommend you check it out. I have a ton of stuff in the description for free. Plus I have a bunch of paid stuff that you can check out as well. But regardless, this is something that you really need to explore. You need to understand that the inner game is 95% of this. I remember hearing that early on and kind of putting it to the side. But the deeper I'm getting into this and the more that I've studied and gotten better, I'm realizing 95% of the game is inner game mindset and these higher level understandings, not what's on paper or, oh, this is what I do to run my business. All that stuff, that information has been out there. It's simple. It has nothing to do with that. Sure, that's important to a degree, but that's only a small piece of the puzzle. Control your mind. Everything else will fall into place. All right. If you guys haven't, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. take a second to support the channel. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.